Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. Thank you for joining me. Today's episode is all about what I refer to as extreme no contact. So obviously you all know what no contact is about. Let's not confuse it with the no contact rule, because I don't know who was the bright spark that decided to create the no contact rule. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. Like, I really don't know whether no contact came first or the no contact rule, but they're actually two different things. Same technique, but two different outcomes. One is for people who are trying to trick, con, force, manipulate lovers to come back to them, and the other is to try and keep the narcissist away for good. So very strange. Like I said, no contact rule and no contact. Which came first? I do not know. But anyhow, this is now what I'm referring to as extreme no contact, because with my clients that I work with, so many of them think they're doing no contact, but they're actually not. They're doing a version of it. So for example, they, I don't know, he sends them a text message and they don't respond to it. But they spend all week thinking about it, but because they didn't respond, they think that's no contact. But in actuality, he has contacted you. You have read it. He has managed to imprint his bullshit into your mind. You are now thinking about it, obsessing about it. That is contact. So that is one of the very many ways that people think they're doing no contact, but they're just not doing it properly, and it's not working at all. Like, you can't say that you're doing no contact if you're talking about him every single day, thinking about him every single day, looking at his social media, talking with your sister and your best friend, and, or the neighbors, all of that stuff. What it's doing is reinforcing memories, essentially. So with the brain, it's very adaptive. The more you think about something, the deeper the kind of groove goes in the brain synapses. Just like on a record player with a record, when you play over a groove, it gets deeper. It's the same thing with the brain. So what we need to do is we need to stop thinking about the narcissist, right? And unfortunately, when you spend 24/7, or at least every waking hour, we'll put it that way, when you spend every waking hour obsessing about them, thinking about them, researching them, watching videos about them, you're still thinking about them. So for those of you who really want to get narc free for good, this is extreme no contact. So what this means is you need to change your phone number. Now, if you're like me and you have a public number that you can't change or you don't want to change for work, what you need to do is block any contact that he has. So any numbers of his that come up, you need to block those numbers. Every single time the narcissist breaks through your wall of defense, you have to reinforce that area. So you need to block those numbers. You need to figure out how they found out, where they're getting the information from. You need to shut it down. So change the numbers. If you're still living at the old house where you lived with them, where you made love with them, where you laughed and cried and fought with them, and you're still having a hard time getting over them, I think it's time to consider moving. I understand that life can be challenging and it can be expensive to move, but at the end of the day, if you want to heal, you're going to have to do the work. You can have your excuses or you can have the outcome that you desire, but you can't have both. It just doesn't work that way. So, all right, so we've got no with the phone, no physical contact. Now, with social media, you have to stop looking at his page or the new suppliers page or anyone who has any contact with them at all. Who cares what haircut they have, how much weight she's put on? Who cares, right? If you want to heal, you have to get some self-control. You need to start making better use of your time. So if you've got time to spend wasting on the narcissist, that's time that you could be using to do something really productive and amazing. So figure out a hobby, figure out a goal, figure out a new business that you're going to start, figure out something that's going to make you feel awesome and start doing it, because you've got free time on your hands. You know, if you're on social media, you've got free time on your hands. So idle, what is that saying about the devil? Idle hands, the devil's playground, or something like that. Anyhow, what else have we got? All right, cutting other people. So you might have to cut some more people from your life. If you have friends that the only thing you have in common is the narcissist, right, then that's not really a friend. Okay, so it's time to let those people go. And you can actually write them a letter or send them an email and explain that, you know, you need to focus on your own healing and that you don't have much time anymore and you want to focus on doing different things. It's been nice to know you have a good life. Thank you very much and goodbye. It seems hard. It's actually not that hard. And surprisingly, people are okay with it. You know, people are actually usually okay with someone who says, I just need to heal myself and this is what I need to do. And if they're not okay with it, well, that's even more reason to get rid of them. So when it comes to people that you can't get rid of, like, I don't know, your mother, your children, you know, you really need to cut down the time that you spend thinking and talking about the narcissist. Okay, and the only person that can control this is you, because you're the only person who actually knows how much time you're spending. And the thing is, the brain can be trained to think differently, and that's what you have to do, because you have been trained to think about the narcissist every single day. And you know, you've been trained to act. So for example, they call you, they leave a message, you respond, because that's what you've been trained to do. So it's about changing those patterns and realizing that who cares what they want? Who cares if they are so used to clicking their fingers and having you jump? Like, who cares? That sense of self-entitlement that they have, that's just part of their narcissistic personality. Who cares? Right? They don't actually have the authority or power over you anymore. So it doesn't matter if they reach out, if they try to contact you, if they send you messages, ignore everything, block everything. Now, with the extreme no contact, we're going to take it a step even further. So if you can't move, or in the interim, you need to stop going to any place where you and that person spent time. So it's time to change your gym, change your routine, change the restaurants that you go to, change it up. And if you live in a small country town, time to change towns. Otherwise, you won't be able to forget about them, because there are so many reminders. You're just being triggered every single day. And you don't want to spend 10 years, you know, suffering and hurting and being in pain. Like, it's bad enough that they stole the amount of time that they stole. You don't need to lose any more time. So they've stolen all this time. You're the only person who can stop them stealing more time. So consider moving. And in the interim, what you need to do is, like I said, you need to change up your routine. You need to start paying attention to the things that trigger you, the things that remind you and the things that set you off, right? And then change them so that you don't have those triggers occurring. This also includes going through your house, making sure that there is nothing that belongs to them. If, for example, I don't know, there's a couch that you guys had sex on, you know, one weekend, get rid of the couch. If you have certain memories, if you look at a certain thing and think that reminds me of the ex, that thing has to go, because it reminds you of your ex. Okay, swap these things, sell them, get rid of them, bash them, whatever. You know, there's nothing, no belonging, no thing in this world more important than your own peace of mind and your own healing and recovery. So, time to get rid of all that stuff. So, if you see a thing and you think of the ex when you look at it, I mean, ask yourself, look, go through your house, literally go through room to room, look at everything you've got and say, you know, what does this remind me of the ex? And if it does, bye, time to go. As I said, this is extreme no contact, but this is how we actually heal. This is how we forget about the narcissist. This is how we move on from the narcissist. All right, my next point is about, like I said, how much time we actually spend thinking and talking about the narcissist. Now, it's good to get an education, no doubt about it, right? But I have to say, as I said before, there are too many channels online that are just getting people to obsess about ways to get the narcissist to come back, and what was the narcissist thinking? How does the narcissist feel? I mean, all of that stuff is a waste of your time. It's keeping you in victimhood. It's keeping you in the headspace of caring about the narcissist, thinking about the narcissist. And it's fine. Like when you first come out of the situationship, you know, that's a normal part of your healing and recovery. But if after 18 months, 2 years, you're still stuck, then there's a reason that you're stuck. Okay, it's time to look at it, look at your situation, identify, locate what the problem is, and figure out what you're going to do about it. And as I said, it's usually because even though you may not even be seeing them, talking to them, whatever, you're still thinking about them. You know, from every time, literally every day, from the minute you get up to the end of the day. So it's about changing these patterns, and extreme no contact is the only way to do it. I think I've covered all of the things, although I dare say someone will remind me in the comments, and I appreciate it if I've missed anything. So if you do have anything that you'd like me to add to my extreme no contact, please do put it in the comments. And for those of you who really are ready to do the work, I suggest that you either contact me for a consultancy, and I say this because I have had so many. I've worked with so many clients who have come in and they've had 1 or 2, 3, 4 sessions, and they're done. They're good. So I know that my formula works. I've said this before. I know that my formula works. And I've also just brought in a new element, which is energy healing, which sounds a bit crazy and a bit woo-woo, and that's fine if those people, for those people who think that, it's a bit hippie, that's fine. And it is a bit hippie. It's certainly not traditional, but it is a way of transmuting energy blocks in the body. Because where there's emotion, especially powerful and extreme, hurt, anger, sadness, grief, the body holds on to that. The body stores those memories. So energy healing is about kind of locating and identifying where you're storing those stories, those memories, and infusing those areas with light, with universal light, or God, or whatever you would like to call it, but infusing those areas and asking that light to essentially remove the pain and the grief and the sadness. So this is a new, like I said, this is a new element that I'm using in my consulting, and it's not for everyone. Not everyone's going to be wanting to do that, obviously, and that's fine, but it's something that can be done remotely, and it's just kind of through visualization techniques. But yes, it's a new, I suppose, it's a new tool in the toolbox for healing from narcissism. We all have our own journeys. We all heal differently. But if you are finding that you're blocked and you're really still struggling, then it's definitely worth considering, you know, doing the work. Because watching videos is one thing. Talking about it, you know, to someone who really knows their stuff is a whole different ballgame. All right, lovelies. Thanks for listening. And I've got, I'm going to link this to another video about why I can't stop thinking about the narcissist. And that video will talk about imprinting and embedding, which is two kind of techniques that the narcissists use on us so that we can't forget them. Which is why you have to do all the things that I just told you, because that's the way you outsmart and outplay the narcissist. All right, lovelies, take care. Get narc free and stay narc free.